Okay, well, I've successfully got some of the things working here. I was testing out the uh, software. Oh, I didn't even put the lights on. It's okay. Uh, yeah, so it's May 10th, 2020, and we're still kind of hunkered down in what do we call this? It's not lockdown, but not like California or New York or something. At least we can get out. But had fun at Costco. Yay! No lineup. I couldn't believe it. It was like it was fairly close to closing time. Actually, I thought they closed at 6, but they closed at 5 on Sundays, and there was no lineup at all. I'm like, wow, that's sweet. Ooh, at least the weather was rather nice. Today wasn't so nice, but yeah, there was nobody, and I'm like, why can't it always be like this? Yeah, I know. That's probably why you waited all that time, so, because the throughput is just too low. Uh, um, there was quite a few. There were people in Costco. I mean, it was more than 20, but uh, yeah, lower than would normally be in a Costco on a Sunday afternoon. And it's well, it looks like we're kind of hopefully on the down side of things. We're coming towards a more soft finish. Um, I hope. Sorry, no pun intended. Uh, uh, yeah, it's sad news from my end. A friend of mine from university days passed away this past week. Not from coronavirus, but he was a diabetic, lifelong diabetic, and I guess he slipped into a hypoglycemic coma and didn't come out. And yeah, so this is for him, man. Uh, Cheers. Yeah, yeah. And every time I watch somebody that dies and on the news, not on the news, but a story about someone dying, I always hear every time you hear it, it's like this person was just nothing wrong with him, absolutely perfect. Just once, I would like to hear, what a bastard. Good thing he's gone. Not this case, but this actually he was a good guy, and he and I were roommates 1 year at university, long time ago. Oh God, that's like a whole uh, almost 40 years ago. Holy crap! Wow, I'm getting old, and yelling at clouds as I am. This is what the whole podcast is about: yelling at clouds. I make no bones about it. I don't have a problem with that meme. Anybody wants to apply it to me, fine. Usually it's projection, but yeah. Yep. Yep. Yelling at the clouds. I love that. It's fun. It's catharsis. Yeah, how's everybody else doing? Oh, yeah. Is that a further reduction in the number of flights? Yeah. Yeah. You'll probably be back pretty soon. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a surprise, I guess. Uh, oh well. Uh, yeah. Yeah, it's like the absolute super tiny fraction at the top of the ladder. Yeah, yeah. 40 people. Why is Calgary more? Oh, yeah, that makes sense for WestJet. Yeah, like it used to be Kelowna, I guess, but then it switched over to Calgary a long time ago. Is that right? It was always here? Oh, okay. I thought it was Kelowna. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That makes yeah, okay. But yeah, it makes sense to be in a bigger hub. I mean, I've kind of did a stop at Kelowna once, and I'm like, there's nothing here. I can't remember why we stopped there. It was just a stop on the way to someplace else. Uh, yeah, yeah. The airport. I mean, it's kind of like I'm surprised they even can land jets there. uh, yeah, another. It was unintentionally flying. Yeah, well, of course, yeah. I would drive there. I wouldn't. Yeah. Mm. Well, I don't know. Stop off at a winery, get totally hammered, and recover, and then go. Uh, and then go to the next winery. Ah, anyway, yeah. Has anybody got their? Oh, joy. Well, seeing as the unfortunately the imagine no religion is no more. Uh, there's no. I probably won't be going there soon. It's, yeah, oh, it hasn't. When was the last one? It was a couple of years ago, right? I think I think Bill Liggett would folded it up because a lot of interference from SJWs and mm, yeah. I don't know if how many were there. There were, but I wasn't at any of them. But uh, yeah, I so enjoyed the. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really enjoyed Imagine No Religion. Bill put together a pretty good crew, and yeah, I talked to him a few days ago. Um, yeah, uh, nah, it's going to be a fairly short one today. I don't want to be too late. Sorry, what? I did. Yeah, I wasn't doing my due diligence. I took a nap. Um, Talking to Muslims during Ramadan, uh, uh, and some of the comments that I had on the Facebook page about that. I have. Oh, what else I got? Oh, I have a wonderful critique of a critique. Uh, a philosopher, somebody who was a professor of philosophy, does not understand this. Doesn't understand the slippery slope fallacy. I mean, it's like, seriously, you actually taught philosophy and you do not understand. Oh, it's terrible. He was schooled by a sociologist, but he doesn't realize it. Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about that. Let's see. Oh, it's what have I got? Oh, yeah. The Guardian actually said something I agree with. The Guardian of all, yeah. Um, a growing clamor of voices treats the pandemic as if it's just a health and safety gone mad, or not health and safety gone mad. I also want to talk about that article in the HuffPo. Yeah. Whoops. Oh shoot. Um, it's written. It's social justice gone absolutely mad. I gotta bring that one up again. And Jeff Goldblum, he said something. Okay, on RuPaul's Drag Race, you'll love this. I don't know if you know about this, Shane. I guess not. Okay, good. Yeah. This thing in the HuffPo. I teach at Oxford, but I don't want to win I don't want it to win the coronavirus vaccine race. What the hell? What is wrong with these people? Where's their head at? I just want coronavirus beaten. What the fuck? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. Yeah, exactly. I mean, where's their heads at? Where's the priorities? Well, are you referring to the New York challenge, the constitutional challenge that's going on there? Well, yeah, yeah. As long as if in regards to protesting, as long as you're obeying the law, okay, I'm fine with it. If you're being careful, practicing what we call, I hate this term, social distancing. It's like, ugh, who came up with this? Could I do better? I don't know. Give me a few minutes and a few more glasses of whiskey, and I will probably. But I hate jargon. I'm not a fan of jargon. Jargon is it's just the bane of our whatever we read. I just can't stand it. Whoops. No. Of course. Yeah, don't you just love those autoplays? Yeah, it's like, God damn it. I haven't found anything more about this, but there's actually in Alberta here, there's the court challenge against Bill 10, which is the Public Health Emergency Powers Amendment Act, which is challenging the Kenney government's laws on emergency powers, etc. Yeah, these guys are idiots. It's this Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. Anybody see any code words in this for religious right? No, not at all. Oh, God. And, yeah, we're about... Yeah, I know. Well, freaking libertarians. Unfortunately, I have some values in common with libertarians, but I also have some values in common with the left. It's kind of the problem of being a centrist. I believe very strongly in individual rights and freedoms. However, I also recognize that society has rights, and this is where we have to constantly be balancing the two. And and it changes constantly. You can't, it's always in flux. Yeah, we do somewhat. Not huge, but they do what they can. I wonder how Kenney feels. I mean, Kenney's a fiscal conservative, right? To say the least. And It must just, stick in his craw that he has to actually have a budget which is going to be for sure a deficit. I mean, there's no way, right? Like, he's just going to nickel and dime all the way, but still. Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is that for frontline healthcare workers like my wife, they don't get they don't have N95 masks. They're told not to use them, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Why? No, it's not because, I don't think it's because they're not available, because we see people in public wearing N95 masks. I think it's nickel and diming. And if they use them, they have to use it repeatedly. It's like, kind of defeats the purpose of an N95. Yeah. So really, it has it's been difficult to introduce vaccines into certain parts of Africa. This person is what? What do you want? How? Where's this person's head at? I mean, it's what the hell's wrong with this person? Look, yes, you know what? We're going to vaccinate people here, okay? But we're not going to ignore the rest of the world. This is all a bunch of watching too many movies or bad television. Oh shit. Okay, well, let's see. How about this? I wonder if this setting. Let's try that. See if. Let me check your settings because Windows has been screwing with me pretty badly lately. Yeah, you're posting as admin because you're, yeah. Let me take a look at the settings. New tech. Okay, we're going through. Oh, okay. Let's see this one. This should go through. Which one should that go through? Let me pull something up here. I know there's a setting in this. I've got like 20 different inputs for let's see, so cable A is correct. I know that. Let's see. Yeah, we can hear each other. Okay, so we got that. Oh, here we go. Thanks, Paul. Voice meter output. Now you should be able to hear everybody else. Hola. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. So now people should hear that. One advantage to having a hardware setup with mixers and stuff, I don't have to worry about that. It's just one input. But I prefer not to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a hardware mixer, XLR mics and stuff like that. So anyway, good thing I was doing most of the talking. Yeah. Shut up! This is silence. You, quiet. You. Wait a minute. It's not patriarchy, or not just patriarchy, because I'm a homophobe too, because I'm silencing. Yeah. Ists and phobes as we are. Yeah. Anyway, so this person is just full of this. Uh, which we can't repeat here. Um, well, we could. We're not monetized, so what the hell? I've never, I would not want to even be monetized because it would. Check to see if Paul is. Paul, if you hear this, let us know if you can hear everybody. And then Christine, you can let us know. Yeah, I would never want to be. People on YouTube are so worried about monetization because this is kind of they put a huge amount of time and effort into their videos, and the people that I follow on YouTube are fantastic. Like Nerdrotic or Doomcock. He's one. These are two of my favorites, and that's fine. But I would never want to be monetized, so I don't ever have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about saying things like coronavirus. There you go, YouTube. Coronavirus. What the hell? What was up with that not being able to? Yeah, the Chinese virus. Which one? Oh yeah. However, Orange Man Bad says it. Yeah. When people are upset about him saying the Chinese virus, I'm like, which one? I mean, think about it. The last epidemics, how many have come from anywhere else? Bird flu, SARS, H1N1. They've all come from certain. China's a big country, so different parts of China. It would be more accurate to call this the Wuhan virus. Until Orange Man Bad. It's just get over it. I mean, David Frum put out a tweet saying, "Well, we don't call the Spanish flu anymore." And I'm like, "You just did, dumbass." You're right. We do call it the Spanish flu. We still call it that. That's how it's commonly known. And by the way, that one probably came from China too. But, whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, screw people who go racist and blame Asians for it. That's separate. I mean, but we can't be responsible for how people are bigots. They're already bigots. Okay? They're already there. They're going to do it anyway. And I do think that they need to change some practices. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's that, and the government is not the scientists either, because the scientists want to get the word out. Their government kind of they want to control everything, and I mean, it was the same thing during the we're in a new Cold War now, but some would say, but during the Cold War, both Russian and American nuclear weapons designers wanted to get their work published, but you can't. There's no way that you would get past the censors. Everything was classified. So what they did was they would publish it they would frame things in terms of nuclear fusion processes within the centers and the cores of stars. And that, would, put any censor to sleep, right? So both Russians and Americans communicated really via publishing as astrophysics papers. So, just a little aside there. Really? Okay. Okay. Say something. Yeah, he's right. No, he's right. I'm going to take a look at the settings within. Yeah, I gotta totally readjust the settings on this. Yeah, well, some people are just gonna have to listen to the audio version, and whenever I get around to to it. They can go, because this is being recorded. I'm going to check the settings here. Oh, sure enough. Yeah. Voice mod. Why is it doing that? No. It should be. You still can. I'm still working on it. All right, say something now. Oh, it's still not. Okay, wait. Okay, say something now. Shoot. Cable A. I'm going to just put it to cable. No, I can't do that. Shoot. Let's see here. Let me do this. Video band B3. Okay, no, I get rid of that. How am I going to do this? B3. Yeah, let's try B3. Oh, man. This is really...
Marburg, Uganda.
We got it good. Yes. Sweet.
Yeah,
we got it. All right, everybody should be heard now. Thanks, everybody. Right. It's a pain in the ass.
You.
Hello.
Pain in the ass. Yeah, you missed some good jokes.
No.
Yeah,
was
good one.
Hilarious.
Yeah, totally. You'll have to go back and re-listen to the podcast. Okay, anyway. God, what a pain in the ass the audio setting is on this. It's so complicated. You would not believe it. Okay. The unprecedented... where's this? We got to get back to this. Let's see. We'll forget the lessons that the pandemic has taught us so far, that the UK and the US are in fact not exceptions at the global stage. No kidding. That we are not only vulnerable, but can also afford to learn lessons from countries, regardless of whether we have a special relationship with them, such as South Korea. We don't have a special relationship with South Korea? Seriously? The United States has a huge military presence in South Korea.
He and Trump exchanged love letters, so,
Oh, no, that's North Korea, not South Korea.
Of course. I'm sorry.
This is South Korea. Here we go. That being white, male, and Oxford educated may not be the only criteria for effective leadership. Who the hell's saying it is?
Oh, God.
What? Yeah. Where did this come from?
Oh, wow.
The developments made by research at Oxford have been enabled by international cooperation among the research community. Yes, it has. Whilst China has faced a lot of question about its sharing of information politically, according to Laura Spinney, the unprecedented speed of the virus development so far is thanks in large part to early Chinese efforts to sequence the genetic material of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. China shared that sequence in early January. Yeah, but it also said that it wasn't spreading person to person. You'd think that would be important.
That's true. Yeah.
Allowing research groups around the world to grow the
I wouldn't put that on the scientists, though. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I would not put that on the... I agree. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I wonder if there were any back channels going on.
God damn it.
Probably.
Thought I muted you. There we go.
Coronavirus is a global epidemic, yet rather than motivating the UK to take a proud role at the global stage, as leaders like Macron have urged, the UK is increasingly resorting to patriotism in its response. It is? That's news to me. This wartime rhetoric is useful in instilling a sense that this is a moment when individuals need to make sacrifices and put the country first.
I think it's a bit different than a war in the sense that, say maybe invoking the military because it's just like they would in any disaster situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like, conspiracy. Never mind. Jesus. Sorry.
But well, she says this. But this time, the enemy is not a nation; it is a microbe. No duh. So why do our collective solidarities end at the border? Because you cannot take responsibility for what another country does.
And
it is totally crap.
This is a scientific community. It's an international community that are, the bigotry of low expectations. What can I say? You know, it just embodies this in this article.
Much part of it.
Yeah.
The race is on, and researchers at Oxford are doing vital life-saving work. Now that should have been the end of the sentence, or the paragraph. But she goes on, of course. But races have winners and losers. If my university is the first to develop the vaccine, maybe they'll just vaccinate only Oxford.
That's so ridiculous.
Cambridge. Screw Cambridge. King's College? Bah. If my university... Sorry, go ahead.
This is just stunning.
Yeah, I know.
That they're only...
This is your brain.
That somehow they're only... Yeah, oh my God. Like...
If my university is the first to develop
a
vaccine,
ignorant.
I'm worried that it will be used, as it has been in the past, to fulfill its political, patriotic function as proof of British excellence. What? What can this person bring up a single example?
No.
This is what the hell's wrong with this person.
Again, this is just ignorance of the rest of the world, and in a, I don't know, backhanded way, reinforcing that privilege. If you want to talk about, colonialism and blah 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 kind of thing, right? This is not helping. You have to acknowledge that there are people all over the fucking world, not just in the UK or the US or in Canada or wherever the fuck you are.
Believe me.
Or in China.
This will be
Everybody's working on this fucking problem. There's a community called the scientific community, and it is international. That the borders don't apply to the scientific community in that sense. There's a problem, and those who are specialists get to work.
Yeah, of course, this person gets roasted in the comments. I mean, as well as she should. I mean, of course, what she teaches is let's see. I did know where it was. It was basically
vulnerability and gender.
Yeah, that's what she does research in. Yeah, and she doesn't really even teach at Oxford. It's kind of a it's basically the TEDx version of, or the those regional TEDx things versus actual TEDx kind of thing. Yeah, and people were pointing that out. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of slippery slopes. This is I ran into this. This was in a larger context, had to do with medically assisted dying, but this was talking about. I wrote a whole thing on this, maybe I should just read that because I thought it was a pretty damn good response. Let's see. Here we go. So this person. Oh, where is it? Let's get rid of that one. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Hendrik van der Breggen. He is a retired professor of philosophy in Providence, I assume Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really, really, really. He says this about the sociologist Dr. Hebert. Dr. Hebert's understanding of slippery slope arguments is problematic.
Your favorite word.
Fucking hate that word and how it's used today. I just hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Stop using that word altogether, please. They've ruined it forever. It's the reason I hate this word, I'll say it again, is because it is used as a kind of magic word to avoid having to deal with actual arguments. Oh, that's just problematic.
Yeah.
Dismissal. It's dismissive. Just saying something is problematic does not make it so. Anyway.
Well, it used to mean, something you could empirically investigate in an academic context, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One approaches a problematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not, that's problematic,
But if you do not actually intend to declare why it is, or argue why it is problematic, that's
and you present your hypothesis, and you're making a claim that should be,
right.
Yeah.
And most people in social justice don't show their work because they don't want to. It's just a
or they selectively
of avoidance.
They selectively cite one another and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And just like Fox News, right? Sense. Just like Fox News. Fox News throws out a phrase and it just becomes overnight the media, buzzword, regardless of even the station, right? It's just the power of, buzzwords and, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, if Fox News, if the media puts out a term, it becomes self-referential within its own, and then it just goes out into the public realm and it becomes an actual real term, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a useful, productive term in an academic context, but now that it's thrown itself out there, it's lost what it is meant to convey,
Oh, totally.
Problematic is something, and from an academic standpoint, in terms of, social sciences, humanities, communication studies, it means
grievance.
No, it means a problem you could interrogate empirically, right? Even if you're doing, what do they call it, preliminary research, like, what's the word for it? There's a word. Instead of
pilot.
When you, as opposed to presenting a hypothesis, you present your hypothesis after you've collected the data.
You work backwards?
Well, it seems, but okay, so for example, if you had, I guess in a sense, you do present you pose a question, right? And then, for example, this would be an appropriate way to, talk to a small group of people and get their opinions, right? And then formulate a hypothesis, and that would be your phase 1 study. And then you go on to, take other methods to interrogate it in other ways that are more empirical, right? What is it called? Grounded theory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this sociologist that Bregen is dissing, he writes this about the slippery slope fallacy. Any first-year university course on critical thinking will explain why slippery slope arguments are logical fallacies. The slippery slope fallacy is the erroneous belief that a particular position, if taken, will set off a chain of events that will inevitably, this is the key word, inevitably, I'm starting to sound like Kim Jong-un, inevitably lead, I guess it was Kim Jong-il at the time, wasn't it? When Team America came out, it was Kim Jong-il, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Kim Jong-il. Erroneous belief, that's where I'm at. Inevitably lead to an undesirable outcome. It doesn't have to be undesirable, but anyway. As one kind of the larger category of fallacies of causation, it constitutes failure to understand cause. Whenever we can refuse, resist, or prevent B from occurring after A, then A cannot be said to produce B inevitably. God damn it. Inalterably or unequivocally. All slippery slope arguments also involve the fallacy of hasty conclusion because they fail to consider the complexity of factors in causal chains. Yeah, that's a
What's
really
your problem
good
with that?
description. I don't have a problem with it. It's Van der
Okay.
Breggen who has a problem with this. Dr. Hebert's understanding of slippery slope arguments is problematic for three reasons.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. In fact, I love the sentence, whenever we can refuse, resist, or prevent B from occurring after A, then A cannot be said to produce B inevitably. That's
Well,
a great sentence. I love it.
And I'll summarize it. A thing can be logically valid without being empirically correct. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so Dr. Hebert, I've said the problematic part. First, Hebert assumes in his first sentence that all slippery slope arguments are logical fallacies.
No.
Well, no, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
No, not
Unless you
necessarily.
can show that they must lead to that. You have. It's not enough to just say it's going to be lead to that. B is going to occur after A. Some slippery slope arguments are logically fallacious, but some are non-fallacious. They can be reasonably strong. Here's an example of the slippery slope argument that is fallacious. A parent tells his daughter not to chew gum because if she does, she'll probably begin to smoke. See, he's already deviated from the inevitable by saying probably.
Probably.
The moment he says probably, he's already acknowledged it's a slippery slope fallacy.
Yeah.
Because slippery slopes are inevitable ends, not probable ends.
Right.
Which will lead to dancing, then drugs, then theft and murder, and then a lifetime in jail. So don't chew gum. Okay, fine. That's an example that he considers fallacious. But significantly, however, and Hebert misses this, not all slippery slope arguments are fallacious merely because they are slippery slope arguments. Consider the following non-slippery slope argument. If I build a huge bonfire directly under the low-hanging branches of a large, dry, dead tree in a dry, dense forest during a fire ban, they will probably... See, there's that word probably. Boom.
Probably.
He just shot himself in the head.
Yeah.
He just shot himself in the head. There will probably be a domino effect. The bonfire will cause the low-hanging branches to ignite, which will cause the tree to ignite, which will cause other trees and so on, so I shouldn't build a bonfire. No, the risk is high, absolutely, but nobody's arguing that. The reason we don't build bonfires during a fire ban is because the risk outweighs the benefits.
Right.
Not because it's inevitable. What if I've got a fire hose around and I put out the fire before it becomes a raging forest fire? I just broke the chain.
Yeah.
The slippery slope has to be an unbreakable chain. An absolute unbreakable, you cannot alter events once you've set them in motion. And this is the problem. Or consider this. If I slam on the car brakes and come to a sudden and complete stop on Highway 401 near Toronto during rush hour, there will probably be a domino effect resulting in perhaps hundreds of collisions, so I shouldn't slam on the brakes and come to a sudden and complete stop on the 401 during rush hour. Well, what if everybody practices defensive driving?
Right.
Done.
Yeah.
Chain's broken. If the chain can be
But
broken anywhere, you're done.
Okay. So let's reverse it. If we put into place legislation pertaining to seatbelts, then it will result in people getting in fewer accidents. Right? Is that a slippery slope argument?
No,
Just
that's
because?
simply logically inconsistent. What is the relationship between seatbelts and accidents?
Well, you'd have to appeal to some sort of statistical, right?
No,
take your excellent seatbelts weren't more.
Seatbelts. Whether your seatbelt is done up or not done up, that's unlikely to have any effect on accident rates, right?
Yeah.
I think what you meant to say was there would be fewer deaths and injuries.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. Thank
That's
you.
fine.
Thank you for
now we're getting there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking it up here. In logic, critical thinking, political rhetoric, and case law is often viewed as a logical fallacy in which a party asserts a relatively small first step leads to a chain of related events culminating in some significant, usually negative effect. The core of the slippery slope argument is that a specific decision under debate is likely to result in unintended consequence. The strength of such an argument depends on the warrant, i.e. whether or not one can demonstrate a process that leads to the significant effect. This type of argument is sometimes used as a form of fear-mongering.
Totally.
In which the probable consequences of a given action are exaggerated in an attempt to scare the audience.
Yep.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be fallacious, which, in formal logic, right? If you plug in correct premises.
Yeah, if the chain can be broken at any point, the logic is fallacious.
Yeah.
You have to show your work.
The logic could be sound, but the whatever you slot into the if A then B, if B then C, blah 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 kind of thing, that would be the fallacious part. That would make it, it can still be logically sound and fallacious. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have that's an informal fallacy. Yeah.
Yeah. If A then B.
Sound, they're just.
Yeah. Okay. Here, if A then B, A therefore B. Oh. Sorry. If A then B, A therefore B. Right. Two premises and a conclusion. If unicorns exist, I'll find unicorn shit in my bathroom. I found unicorn shit in my bathroom, therefore unicorns exist, right? Logically sound.
Is that like an Amber Heard thing?
What? I don't know. What does that mean?
You haven't heard about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
Oh, yes, I did. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
She actually crapped in Johnny Depp's bed.
Well, I didn't hear that particular thing.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming out. Wow. And she's really screwed.
Wow.
What a. And it couldn't happen to a nicer woman.
He was supposed to be the headliner at Reason Rally 2016,
really?
Hey?
Oh, that would have been
really?
Cool.
Yeah, and that's about when those charges came out. Wait a minute, was it the election year anyway?
Oh yeah, yeah. Amber Heard was on tape saying, "No one will believe you, Johnny." And it's like, whoa. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's all coming out now, and she is so screwed. She is done. And
some of it was her own recordings.
Yeah. She's not smart. Okay.
Oh
she's
God.
just a very vindictive, malicious.
Well, I think she's very sick.
Person.
Yeah.
Like she's a sociopath, I would think. I mean, she checks off all the boxes, right? Like, just whoa. This is like things that I wouldn't even dream of. Anyway. So this whole thing, I just, this person does not understand this guy is a philosopher, for fuck's sakes. Dude, understand your fallacies. Everybody should learn their fallacies. I mean, it's so important. You don't have to know the name, but you have to understand them. And it's, something like affirming the consequence. One of the most common ones I see is that if A, then B, B, therefore A. That's an affirming the consequence. Problem is you have to show that A is the only thing is necessary and sufficient to cause B. And that is the problem most people have. That's when people reach for certain identity.
Formally, and then that is a formal that's a formal fallacy.
Yes.
That's a structural fallacy, right? Of language, or
Very good.
of logic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one is, like I said, it could be formal or informal.
Yeah, informal.
Right?
The structure's fine. It's just that it's just shit.
Yeah.
Shit argument, like an ad hominem.
But it's not, if the premises are true,
If
it could still lead to a correct collision. Collusion?
Yeah, but it's not. But
Conclusion.
don't make the mistake here. When you say could, you're acknowledging.
Yeah,
it's
well,
fallacy.
that's an informal fallacy. They don't say it will, right?
Right. No,
That's the difference.
But that's the thing. That in terms of what the slippery slope argument is, it is a will. It's not a could, right? Slippery slopes exist. I don't have an issue with that. But the thing is that we can identify them and avoid them somehow. It's like say with when we're talking about in the context of medical assistance in dying, you would have the safeguards that are in the legislation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't lead. It's not an inevitability if you can avoid it, right?
If we talk about, the right to die with dignity, the religious wingnuts will come out. The religious wingnuts have come out.
This philosopher is engaging in motivated reasoning. He wants there to be a particular outcome, and he wants his slippery slope to be true.
Right.
But that doesn't make it true. You have to actually show the work. If you don't show the work, then it's a fallacy. Anyway, this is going back to COVID. Oh wow. Clamor Voices treats the pandemic as if it's just health and safety gone mad. Oh, not really. But it's not. This could have been a lot worse. I mean, it could have been a far more. This is seems to be a fairly virulent virus, but it's not as lethal as we first thought. I don't think.
No.
And I don't know why Italy had such a massive death rate, or if it was even if it was apparent or whatever. It'd be interesting to see what's going on with that. But it's yeah.
I don't think it's to be taken lightly.
No, we don't have to take it lightly. But like I say, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, thank goodness it was. Yeah, and some countries did better than us and continue.
Absolutely, it's because of the measures that we're taking that it's not as bad partly not as bad as it could be.
Yeah,
right?
There's a difference in flattening the curve and then reducing that curve, right?
Yeah.
And flattening the curve is just not good enough.
Quebec is actually thinking of opening up schools now.
Really?
I think that's a little bit crazy. That
might be a little bit too far, I think.
Yeah.
But some restrictions can be relaxed a bit as long as people are aware that 6 feet is 6 feet, and I've got a 6 foot long cattle prod.
Do you have any idea how oblivious kids are to social distancing? Little kids, elementary school kids.
Yeah.
Oh God, they spread their germs all over each other all the time.
Little disease vectors.
God,
yeah.
I'm terrified of freaking head lice, let alone.
That's something you should be if you've got exposure to kids. Is his lice? It's really sad. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah.
Yuck, I've never had lice.
Have you guys installed the?
I don't want it.
Neither have I, thank goodness. But a couple of times it was running through Kara's school, and I was just like, "Wah!" And in fact, she and her boyfriend had it once when they were, 18 or 19. I wouldn't go near them. They had to pick out their own shit from each other's.
Slimy.
They went to some hippie festival thing, right? So, yep, you're on your own. Can
you tell I've never wanted kids?
Do you have nieces and nephews that you?
I do have one niece and one nephew, but they're located elsewhere.
Adults. Oh.
So I'm good.
And 2 stepdaughters, right?
Well, yeah, but they're like 30.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. They're not as slimy as they were when they were, 12.
They're not as what?
Slimy.
Slimy?
And disgusting.
Sure.
And diseased.
Yeah. 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 I hear you.
Have you guys installed the app?
God, no.
No?
No.
No?
No, I refuse.
How to what?
That's
Avoid
way
Miami
too much.
12-year-olds?
The contract tracing app?
Yeah.
Or contact tracing app? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't actually. Yeah, okay.
How does that? I mean, this virus sheds while you are asymptomatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just no. It's not going to work very well. Okay. My wife is automatically informed if somebody she works with has come in contact with COVID, so it's automatic for her. For me, I'm in my basement anyway. I ain't going anywhere. It's my own basement, not grandma's or mom's. Mine. I own it. And I dwell here.
How many cats do you have again?
Yeah.
Cats. Cats.
14,
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
I keep.
Yeah.
I think it's 14. Yeah. Kind of hard to keep track.
Can cats be carriers for COVID?
Yes, they can.
Like, yeah?
Well, felines
they
apparently can.
It's well, if they're outdoors, sure. But they're not. Lucky
Yeah, fair
if they're
enough, yeah.
with ours are never allowed outdoors except under supervision.
Oh. Okay.
I just had to harass you anyway, but yeah.
Well, there have been some cases in zoos where big cats have contracted from human handlers.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least one case. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about this much. I really want to talk about this one. Shall we watch this? It's a short clip.
Okay.
Are you religious, may I ask?
I'm not, and to be honest, this outfit really represents the importance that visibility for people of religious minorities need to have in this country.
Isn't this an interesting wrinkle, though? Is there something in that religion that is anti-homosexuality and anti-woman? Does that complicate the issue? I'm just raising it, thinking out loud, and maybe being stupid, but
No,
what do you think?
I think, you know.
I mean, this is, it's
What? Okay.
Jeff Goldblum. This is
explain
Jeff
it.
Goldblum. He was, asking questions of a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race about what's with the hijab, and she's dressed. What do you? I'm confused. And not sexually.
Sounds like that iconic kind of image, right?
Yeah.
It's like that iconic image that appeared for the Women's March, not the last one, but the one before. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's spot on. It's illegal to engage in homosexual activity in how many Muslim countries in the Muslim world? How many of them have a death penalty for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it's the contestant that's ill-informed. It's not Jeff Goldblum.
Oh God, yeah. Well, and I was just thinking, there was, I don't know, this idea that I can't remember which country, but they were so progressive because if you were they
paid for your sex change.
Yes, they forced you to have a sex change.
Yeah,
if you
there's a bit of a difference. Yeah,
this is SJW bullshit, right? How to frame an argument.
I know.
Jesus.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
They're so progressive. Yeah. It's either that or you get your head lopped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. What is wrong with those people? Is it because they are willfully stupid?
I doubt it. I think they're just, if you've not been exposed to it, they don't get exposed to it, so they're ignorant. And I doubt willfully, I don't think they're bad people.
What happens when they get informed of the reality? They actually thought, and I know this was one trans woman comes to mind, and I can't remember her name. She's a YouTuber. Anyway, it was pushing that story, and I'm like, yeah, that's not quite true. you're kind of
Yeah.
mischaracterizing. You know, you're saying paid for, but forced under penalty
Oh,
of death.
that's a little different.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
wee
Yeah.
bit different, you know, just a wee bit different. Yeah.
Huh?
So I don't have anything. You know, he's just asking questions, but I would be saying it outright. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand? Of course, this is on AJ Plus, Al Jazeera Plus, which is a horrible,
Oh,
horrible thing to watch. But anyway, this one
well, this is interesting.
Muslim
you know,
who was in America, living in America, saying, "Well, who am I going to get killed by today, or why will I get killed today? Is it because I'm Muslim or because I'm gay?" And I'm like, well, first of all, you're like Kenny if you're getting killed every day, but seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously, dude? Yes,
I think
there's
he-
bigotry
okay.
and racism, but seriously?
One's a choice, one is not.
Yeah. Well, some would argue neither is a choice, but I disagree. But yeah, it's like, do you not understand the central position in your religion? And it's true of Christianity too. It's just that Christians don't take their religion as seriously as the Islamic world does.
Hey, reading that. Sorry, the issue is that the drag queen Jackie had walked out looking like the Pope. He probably never would have even mentioned the homophobia and misogyny and Christian. Oh, I bet he would have. I bet
We
he would
weren't
have.
talking about Christianity,
Yeah.
were we? We were talking about Islam.
No. And do you think the Catholic Church would have gone unchecked with their,
No, and I criticize
just
Catholicism. all the time. Give me a break.
I can hardly say the word without throwing up
But
sometimes.
again,
Yeah.
he wasn't talking about Christianity. He was presented with an Islamic
Yeah.
costume. So
Yeah.
I hate this kind of
No, but why would somebody assume that he wouldn't have called out the Pope either, right? He might very well have,
Yeah, maybe he did.
Who,
Oh, yeah.
who the hell wouldn't call out the Pope? I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Catholics,
Most
Catholics, not all Catholics.
Yeah.
There are branches of Catholicism that are very anti-Pope, but they're still Catholic.
That point was
So they're
the point.
still wonky. Still got weird beliefs. Come on, let's face it, right?
I don't think he's a Catholic, do you?
I don't know what he is. I think he's Jewish.
I'm sure with the name.
Background?
Well, I would think. Yeah, I was just going to say.
I thought Goldblum was an
And
atheist.
so just by virtue
culturally.
of the fact that his last name is that, of course, he's going to get,
I mean, I know, it's
accused
not-
of, right?
It's not. I don't really
Yeah.
care, but what his background.
Well, I'm just saying there's that whole there's that whole subtext there too, which is really nasty because essentially they're
Well, it's kind of an ad hominem.
totally.
So
It's weird. It implies that he's some kind of racist
Yeah.
because he's Jewish, right? Like it's not put out there, but I think that's the understanding.
You want to read this one?
Yeah. Hang on, I don't know.
Aaron Brockovich. Love that.
I might be
But-
just
but
a
the
tiny
tweet I
bit
don't
behind.
like. Tweet is stupid.
Okay, it's not loading for me quite as quickly.
I'll read it here.
Oh, I think I got it. Yeah, okay. Jeff Goldblum's commentary tonight on Drag Race has been really off-putting. The whole just wondering out loud, Islam is a misogynistic, homophobic faith is not cool.
I agree that it's not cool that Islam is a misogynistic, homophobic faith. Totally agree.
Exactly.
Yeah, wow.
Jesus. Learn something about Islam.
Yeah,
It's just as Christianity's the same, and they have the same root, but
Yeah.
we don't have the death penalty for this kind of thing anymore, right?
yeah,
Islam does.
yeah.
Somebody who has a name in Arabic script. Why does Jeff Goldblum act like Islam is the only religion stating that homosexuality is a sin on national TV. He's not.
Not
Not at
He
all.
didn't say that. He did not say that. It's just, again, this is what he's presented with.
Yeah.
We're
And
not
I'm going
talking
to
about
say again, the
Christianity right now.
undertone. Yeah, the undertone, like that
Another
Jewish
two
guy is
Coke-
saying that slags Islam, right? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two Coke
disgusting.
arguments.
It's racist. There's a total racist undertone in it. It disgusts me. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Hey, stop scrolling, you stupid thing. What's this? Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney exchange words on who's the better band. Stones! That's
Yes.
easy. Stones. Now, I would say, by the way, we're reading some totally off topic headline here on this Volvo TV thing. Just but I'm sorry, but if we're talking about the most influential, now we're talking about the Beatles clearly. But the better band, oh yeah, Stones.
I don't know. I'm torn between the two. They're just. I don't think it's like apples to oranges.
Anybody
in a lot
wants
of
to
ways.
disagree with that, they can actually phone in. I'm going to put the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You would like to
that'll
argue
break
with Randy
Anybody,
about
anybody who's like a Beatles fan is probably going to totally want to toast me on that.
Okay.
1-587-288-1067. Anybody wants to phone in?
I'm going to take 2 minutes, and then I want to ask you guys a question. Okay. So yeah, can we
So
take
you'll
like a
let us
2 minute
do
break?
for 2 minutes. Okay.
Pardon me?
You'll
Yeah,
let
okay.
us do for 2 minutes.
Yes. Be
I love
curious.
this. I love having no ads on my.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I use a Pi hole, which is really awesome.
a pie hole.
Basically, yeah, it's a Raspberry Pi, one of those little $50 computers, and it basically, if the ad is recognized, the domain name is recognized by the Pi hole, it will say can't find that domain name, so it goes there first to look up the domain name before it goes to Google or whatever domain name server that you want. It's great. It kills ads dead. It's like raid for.
Huh.
I love
So
it.
you use this is a separate thing.
Yeah, it's a little
Raspberry
tiny
Pi
little
computer that runs next to your. So it's connected to
It's
your
on the
computer
network.
or to your. It's on the network.
Yeah, it
Oh,
actually
okay.
is a wireless. Has a wireless connectivity, so you can wire it up. It's no big deal. Just put it on your router, and it would go through your router to it, and then from there it would go out if it doesn't recognize the domain name. And there's lists of domain names all over the internet that you can get and add to your Pi hole, and that's it. Boom, gone. It doesn't work for
and
YouTube very well because YouTube changes they rotate their servers. So if you've
Well, YouTube, I already got YouTube Premium for that anyway. But.
yeah, I've got premium as well, and so I don't have the ads, but it's for anybody out there.
Well, I've been looking for an excuse to build a Raspberry Pi for something.
Oh,
This
there you go.
sounds
That's
like a.
That's an awesome. It's an awesome, and it works. It works really, really well.
Yeah.
It's a killer.
And you wouldn't need like a top level one, probably one of the older ones would work just fine, right?
Yeah. Anything running whatever brand of Linux that they use. I can't remember the one that.
Raspbian.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Raspbian, yeah. And free download. Update it once in a while. I've got to update it tonight actually because it's been a major update to it. But yeah, it's great.
Huh.
So highly
hole.
recommend it. Kills ads dead, just like raid, like there. Yeah,
I want to check that out. That sounds
look up
like
Pi
a great
hole.
little project.
Lots.
Yeah, I found their website. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people do it. It's great.
Okay. And so and websites don't get cranky with you because they don't think you're blocking anything.
Yeah, they don't know. It doesn't know. It just says
Okay.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the that was that. A growing clamor of voices treats the pandemic as, I can't. I remember this is just one of the few, I should say, maybe not the first, Guardian articles I actually agreed with. I mean, take it seriously, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of it was a little older. What was that? This was 25th of April. I think Boris getting exposed and sick from COVID was a bit of a wake up call, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want. He was put into, he was admitted to ICU, but that's probably precautionary because he was out of ICU pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And there's in Ottawa there's equipment and operating rooms that are empty and not used at all, and they are reserved purely for diplomatic use. If some foreign diplomat gets ill, there's an MRI that's sitting there in Ottawa General that's doing nothing. It's waiting for somebody, and that's all expensive. I mean, it's not like it sits there and you don't have to maintain it, because you do have to maintain it.
Right.
An MRI. So, but so that would be the same thing probably for heads of state. They would probably have similar. Certainly for the American president, I would be really surprised if Boris Johnson didn't have this. UK didn't have the same thing waiting for him. But anyway, stay safe,
I'm
everybody.
back.
Okay, 2 minutes, good.
Hello.
We filled it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Nobody called. I take it.
No, nobody. Not even. Seriously, not even dissing the Beatles. I didn't really diss.
Yeah.
I like some of the Beatles music, but the later stuff, oh god, I hated it. Oh, ugh. Overproduced, self-indulgent. Blech.
You mean the trippy stuff that was cool? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm the Walrus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about more like the White Album. That was a really great
That
album.
album's okay. Yep.
Yeah. When
right.
shows me, the poppy sounding stuff is just
the bubblegum
annoying.
stuff. Yeah.
But some of their stuff was pretty
Catchy.
freaking trippy and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
The catchy stuff wasn't so great. It was
Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Yellow Submarine.
okay. Album or the song?
Well, the song, but I don't know if I've listened to the whole album. But I love the song.
Okay.
That was very 60s. I mean, like, if you look at the album cover, and it's like that kind of art,
Mm-hmm.
There was a children's book, Alala. Let's see if I can find that.
So the question I have for you guys,
yes, I'll look that up.
or the topic. So I had a discussion with an American man, an atheist of, I guess you would say, Jewish ancestry, about circumcision, right?
Okay.
And that the usual arguments were presented, and I'm just like, no, those arguments he was pro-circumcision, right? Or at least let religious people what they want to do, but I think that's just male genital mutilation, and I don't think that's a controversial opinion to hold here in Canada. So I was surprised I even had to discuss this in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. And then I kind of looked up some statistics, and it turns out that 70% of American babies are circumcised, and only 30 Canadian babies male babies obviously are circumcised, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think that, if it's, what's your opinion on that? Like, I think it's not necessary, and it's just not common to do here, unless there's like a medical need or whatever, right? Like Twyla's talked about her son and how eventually he did have to have it, blah, 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 kind of thing, right? And I know that, the World Health Organization talks about things like it can help prevent, things like AIDS and stuff like that, but that is a context.
Yeah, a little bit. We're not talking about big margins there.
we're talking about a world global context here, and that is not a situation where we have access to things like condoms and not, so many religious batshit people, you know what I mean? So I can see where that would be a medical benefit in certain contexts, but certainly not in, I guess I would say, I don't know, Canada, the US, parts of Europe. Iceland is trying to make it illegal at the moment, right? Germany tried to make it illegal. I think it's, if it's not medically necessary, why? Why would you do that?
Medically.
I've never had to argue that.
unethical.
I've never had to argue that. Yeah, I think it is too. I think it's male, the comparison, of course, was, female made that FGM, right?
Which is
And yes,
the worst, but
it's,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the argument too.
it doesn't matter.
The
The degree is not relevant to whether or not something is
yeah,
medically
I
ethical.
agree. Yeah, yeah. And women prefer the aesthetics. Well, no, I think that's fucking stupid to say. That's like, what if, all children should have fucking breast implants when they're 14 because men prefer that look, or, reduced to a C plus cup or whatever because that's what men prefer. Well, fuck you, That's ridiculous. That's a terrible argument.
Now that's patriarchy.
Totally. It is.
I was,
that, women are that superficial and shallow. It really is. It's ridiculous.
I like boobs.
I love it.
Oops. The example?
It's like,
Well, yeah. All children who are 14, all girls who are 14 years of age, yeah, we all like boobs. Do you know what that? Oh, and then so at one point I said in this argument, like, okay, so you're okay with like, what do you call it, like faith healing? And I was just stunned because
how come they can't grow big boobs with faith?
yeah, really. The point was,
What is the point? You've forgotten.
well, no, yeah, I did forget it. It was to do with ego again with okay, so the comparison I made was with faith healing, right? When people and somebody, well, that's apples to oranges, and I was just so stunned and blown away by the I guess the cultural difference, right? But of course, the common ground is bodily autonomy of children and their right to bodily autonomy, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Oh, well, children, like I say, children are not possessions. Parents are custodians of future citizens. They're not owners. They're given a lot of leeway because, you have to, right? But because there's differences of opinion on how children should be raised, but there are boundaries beyond which society says you cannot go, and one of those things is, I'd like to think is unnecessary surgery, or I would like to include dressing up children as prostitutes because they want to live vicariously through their children and parade them in front of judges in pageants. It's
and that goes
sick.
for children. Okay, that's a separate thing. I'm talking
That's a
about
separate
bodily
thing, but I'd
autonomy.
like to
right?
include that in the umbrella of things that society says no.
Sure. Okay. So my next thinking was, okay, here in Canada, it doesn't matter whether you're, an atheist or, fundy like, Stefan, whatever the hell, right?
Stefan.
Right? And then there was that other woman who also, she's the New Agey woman who neglected her child too, right? And she got charged.
Yes.
And she was New Agey. She could have very well been an atheist. We don't give a shit, if your beliefs, violate a child's bodily autonomy. I would say bodily autonomy fits in with things like,
Well,
provide not violating.
take the welfare of her child if she didn't
Yeah.
have the welfare of her child up to the standards that society expects.
Yeah, yeah. And then the issue of ear piercing came in, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
And,
it's not permanent. It's not a big deal, I don't think.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't violate your sexual blah, blah, blah. The worst that's going to happen is going to get caught, and you're going to and that's not nice, but, I kind of think, if you want your ears pierced and you're, I don't know, asking for it when you're 12, 13 years old and you're interested, let them do it. But if you're a newborn
you
baby,
get them to put
come
on non-pierced, you get fake earrings for a while, and if they like that, okay, fine.
Yeah, but even if you get them pierced, they can let them. It's really easy to let them grow in. And I know I had Kara's ears pierced like 3 times, and finally I'm just like, if you want them pierced again, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah. Jeez.
So I did my own.
Sanitary.
Well, she took care of them after that.
Did you use a potato?
No, no. I used a ice cube and a darning needle, and done.
Aye.
Yeah.
And it was sterilized, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like what? You lick it or something, or what?
I probably boiled it and or wiped it down with alcohol or something like that. Yeah. But I paid for so I've got like 4 on one side and 3 on the other side. And after like the first 2, so numbers.
You heat the needle
1, 2,
till
3?
it's red hot, and then it goes like.
No, you just shove it in your ear.
Yeah.
Your earlobes really don't have that much sensation. When you get to the cartilage, it's a little bit different. But yeah. So yeah, it hurts for a minute, like getting stung by a bee, right?
Yeah,
Well,
of course.
us maybe. I haven't been stung by a bee, so I don't know. But
I hope mine
yeah.
Less than that, I would say.
But I'm not gonna, I don't care if you get your newborn baby's ears pierced, blah, blah, blah. But, I think it would be nicer to wait till they're, I don't know. It's kind of like a little ritual for, I don't know, tweenies to get their ears pierced. It's fun and it's, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's not a permanent thing, and
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. It's not like you are changing the function of something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I thought
removing something.
I've never had that argument with anybody. Have you guys?
No.
No, but I'd love to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's kind of like, I didn't even, I was just so stunned.
What was the give me the context of this again?
It was, I can't give you too much context, but it was pertaining to,
This was an ex-Muslim or a Muslim?
No, this is an American atheist, ethnically Jewish.
Ethnically. Oh, okay. So coming from
Yeah.
that background, right?
Yeah, arguing for like religious freedom and stuff like that, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it had to do with
That's not religious
gender-based
freedom.
violence.
Yeah.
It had to do with gender-based violence, and of course, everything was mentioned except for boys being circumcised, and
Special pleading is what's going on there.
yeah, and like what? Why not say the genital mutilation of children as opposed to girls, right?
Because special pleading.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And
It's another law.
I said that's sexist. That's sexist, and it is. I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's also cultural relativism, because the cultures that do it, it's okay,
Yeah.
and when I think of cultural relativism, it's shit.
Well, remember when, was it here in Canada or was it in the US when some doctor was proposing the ceremonial nick or some stupid ass thing, right? No, we don't want that either. Go fuck yourself.
Take a frickin' stand.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. Period. It's unethical.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, there's still doctors around that perform circumcision.
Well, and
There are fewer.
that's what
It's going away.
if you must do it, then find a practitioner who's don't get some fucking rabbi to rip it off with his fucking teeth and
I'm like,
God. I was stunned to have this conversation. I swear, it's just
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Grossed out.
Well, I didn't even bring that up.
Hmm.
I didn't think I'd have to. You know,
They give the kids herpes.
I wasn't prepared
Yeah.
to argue it. It's just not an
Terrible.
argument here. Yeah.
Children have died from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, congratulations, Rabbi.
Would you rather have that person doing it or a doctor that's qualified to do it, right?
Well, yeah, but I
If one
also
must.
hopefully the doctor doesn't use the same techniques.
Who is the doctor? Dr.
Yeah,
Robinson?
exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
again,
I assume
you know.
that they're going to be using sterile surgical fields and such, but hey, you never know these days. But CMA does
And
not
again,
recommend circumcision of children. So
Yeah, and neither the American nor the Canadian Pediatric Associations recommend it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a difference of opinion. But I think in this
Yeah.
case, it's
Well, not with the two, pediatric boards of our respective countries, but with, I guess, the popular take is that it's okay.
yeah. There's a real blind spot for this because of the. There's a lot of people that still hold on to those kinds of beliefs, but I don't believe.
Or
that the
it's just
profession should be-
tradition, blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
know
Exactly. Cultural.
that an
traditional.
atheist could defend that is. Yeah, it's yeah.
Well, you got to make it's. We have to be ready to engage if they are.
Yeah,
making
absolutely.
arguments like
Absolutely.
that.
I did,
We have
but
to
I
be
was
like,
just.
we can't just toss the.
I didn't even know how to make the argument because I'd never been presented with it. I just thought it
You're
was,
probably, like,
obviously,
gobsmacked.
there's a bit of, stuff that I was presented with, but it was just same old, like I said, oh, it's more aesthetically pleasing to women and blah, blah, blah. But just the
What?
trite arguments that, yeah, oh my God.
Well, to be honest, well,
That's what I said, like,
no,
come
I'm
on.
not going to go there.
That's so sexist.
That's too personal.
Yeah. Whatever.
That's actually true, though. That women do have a preference.
Maybe for some women, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
Not me.
I'm much more interested in the person as a whole than something like that. Like I said, what if I, the idea, every woman should have
You're
like
one of these.
five
It's the
C
size
breasts
doesn't
or
matter.
whatever.
Right?
No, because it's not science. It's fucking religious bullshit.
I remember going to get a coffee at the U of C med school, and what was it? Somebody that was ahead of me said, if I remember how this went. He was saying that I don't know how much it is, and she said, "Well, it depends on the size." And I said, without thinking, "But don't you women say that size doesn't matter?" It's like I'm like, that didn't mean to come out.
It's not the length of
funny.
the sword. It's the sorcerer who wields it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all I got for today.
Okay, so yeah.
It's time to get to
That
bed.
went off in a direction.
It did, as it usually does. Yeah, never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen here. Talked about the.
I dare
boobs
say
and
that most
circumcision.
women don't care unless they're really shallow. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their preferences, but
shallow?
you know what I mean, right? Like, no, I would, like,
No pun intended.
okay, I'll just put it on my.
Nice.
Oh.
Is it in yet? Aye.
So if I were to, get serious with somebody, and, I've had breast cancer, so I've obviously got a scar there. It's not so obvious, when I'm dressed, but, it's there when I'm not. And what if somebody said to me, oh my God, blah, 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 like, I don't want that. Like, that's so shallow and ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would assume that I wanted, they would accept me as a person and not just, something like that. It just seems so superficial, and to assume that you know, I don't know. Some women like hairy chest, some women like bare chest, some women don't give a rat's ass, right? Like, we're all different, and that's such a terrible argument.
So women don't have a preference physically?
Well, we're all different. I don't know what other women's preferences are. You know? Personally, I don't really care.
Because I'm not going to buy the,
Oh my God.
it's only but it's only about who they are and not, you know, give me a break.
Well, I don't know. I'm not out there on, you know, some, I don't know, hookup site or anything like that. So it's been like relationships, whatever. But no, that's...
Well, yeah, it's kind of the whole
Thank
package,
you know.
but
Yeah.
it's not just personality.
It's such an offensive argument is what I'm saying. It's a terrible, terrible argument. It is.
Well, if that's all you're interested in, yeah, absolutely. But that's a shallow
of course there's
person
other
who
points to
is
bring
not who is interested in the other person as a sex toy. And that's it, right? That's what that is.
Yeah, and again, I thought it made women appear really shallow, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a sex. Yeah, anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering my question and letting me know. My goodness, I've never confronted that argument ever here in Canada. It's just a given that it's a no-go, you know?
Oh, well.
Pretty much.
I think it's there. It's out there. It's a lot of people still, it's just kind of the thing, tradition. Oh, focus.
Yeah.
Not focusing. Oh, well.
Anyway.
Oh.
That was fun.
Yeah, I've done that in a while.
Yeah.
It's been really boring because the world's kind of on pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm, you know, kind of getting stuff, household shit done and all that, you know, like sorting through and organizing and, you know, spring cleaning kind of stuff, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just
trying to do productive stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta eat. I have had
Okay.
a bowl of raspberries today.
Oh.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay.
Your pie hole.
Yeah. No pie. Well, I am going to have... Costco has carrot... What is it? Carrot cheesecake. Carrot cake cheesecake?
Oh, yeah?
Ooh. Yeah,
Sounds really good.
I think that's what I'm going to hit. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's new. Let's try that. So,
That's good.
yeah. I wonder if the closing is going to work. I got a couple of tweaks to do, but looks like everything's back to normal in
Cool.
terms of studio stuff. So, yeah, we're out, I guess.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Good night, all.
And stay, you know,
Stay healthy.
keep away. Keep away. Keep away from me.
Yeah.
6 feet.
Yep.
I'll use my cattle prod. Someone should invent the 6-foot cattle prod. That'd be great. It's so mint.
Isn't it called a taser?
That's a little farther. I want something that, you know, you measure it, and it's 6 feet. There you go. You know, a hockey stick with a hockey stick with a taser on the end of it. You know, not one of the shooting tasers, but the contact tasers. That would work.
With duct tape around it?
Yeah, totally. Total red green, the whole thing. I think that would be perfect. All right.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, Randy. It was fun.
Is it going to work? Oh, of course it's not going to work. All right, we'll just do this manually. Adios.